It's a big Monday. It's the Battle of the Bay, Norfolk State, Hampton University. Wally Pitt was there. Wally, you're coming off a game at A&T where there was nobody there but media. But tonight, the Battle of the Bay, there were a few people there. Tell us about the environment. What was it like? Who got in? What was the energy there?
Oh man, it was an entirely different story from A&T. Mainly, maybe because that game was kind of like a pickup on the fly. There were fans here. Norfolk even piped in some fan noise like the NBA bubble, but mostly the energy came from the benches. I mean, both benches were hype. It's not a whole lot of people here, so you could really hear them talking. A real funny thing happened right at the beginning of the game. The shot clock didn't work, and you could hear the players being like, whoa, whoa, that ain't the time, and they actually changed it. So you got to hear a little bit of those interactions that you don't get to hear, when the stadium, especially for a rivalry game like this, when the stadium's packed. But this was fun. I mean, for a moment, there were brief moments where it didn't feel like we were in the coronavirus. It felt like I was just shooting a regular old game. And that's kudos to the guys on the floor because they had energy from pregame till it was over, and it was a lot of fun.
All right, let's get into the highlights in just a second. But first, we need to let you know that today's coverage of the Battle of the Bay is brought to you by Hampton alum Mickey McGill. HBCUs like Norfolk State and Hampton are great places to become pros, and not just in athletics. Hampton alumnus Mickey McGill is an NFLPA registered player, financial advisor. In short, he helps ballers not go broke. He's a supporter of HBCU athletics and HBCU game day. Thank you, Mickey, for helping us cover the Battle of the Bay. All right, so Wally, what was the story of the game? Walk us through the first half. How did it all go down?
Man, I would have bet you $5 that this one was going to be a game-winning shot. I just wouldn't have bet you which team was going to hit it. I mean, it was back and forth the whole game. First half, I think there might have been a lead of 5-7, something like that, but then the other team would quickly come back. And it was just, they were duking it out. It was, it was Mike Tyson, Roy Jones there for a little bit. It was back and forth. And then it just turned into Devontae Carter at the end, the last 3 to 5 minutes, when he just went into his 2012 Derrick Rose bag, and he was just head down to the bucket, a bunch of really good lays. And it was just fun to watch, and they locked up on defense. I think Hampton, they were a little hot from three earlier. They kind of cooled off at the wrong time, and it just, they just let it slip through their hands at the end of the night. I'm not sure if it was because Norfolk has played more. You can never, again, in the age of Rona, man, you can never tell what the factors are. But yeah, shout out to Norfolk locking it up on defense. And then, man, Devontae Carter he was fun to watch at the end of the game.
So Norfolk State gets the win over Hampton, and so far it's been so good for Norfolk State. Wally, it's very early, but they look like one of the teams, if not maybe the team to beat in the MEAC.
Man, they look good. And, on our Slack channel, we kind of had some back and forth about how, the guys who don't cover HBCU sports all year round are basically just like, well, it's Central or A&T. And I know in our chat, we were kind of like, you might want to look out for Norfolk. And I think they're proving it. They got a really good team. They got some depth. And, man, they got some energy, man. They got some guys on the bench who are just hyped 24/7. And that's what you're going to need in a season where, the fans aren't going to be here. You got to create your own energy, just like we talked about at A&T. And it seemed like Norfolk is doing it. So, I mean, and don't sleep on the Spartans. If we can get this curve right and we have a MEAC tournament, don't sleep on the Spartans to take it home.
Okay, I might have been guilty of being all about North Carolina Central and North Carolina A&T. I'm just going to raise my hand, okay? I confess. I confess of my sins right here. Finally, before we let you go, was it fun? I mean, this is a new environment. There's new, it's a victory just to make sure your game doesn't get canceled in 2020. For what you're accustomed to, what your expectations were going in, did you have a good time?
Man, this one was fun. I was a little nervous after the A&T game just because that one was kind of so slow, no fans at all, man. But this one was fun. Like I said, there were brief moments where I was so into the game that I kind of forgot that, nobody was here. And, they had a decent little crowd. I think the capacity was 250, and with them spread out, it was kind of hard to tell. But, man, this was a good one. And if this is what conference basketball is going to be, I'm here for it because this was fun. It was a good game, and, you got to create your energy somewhere. Shout out to the players because they did it.
All right, Wally Pitt, thank you so much for your coverage. Thank you, Mickey McGill, for your support. And Wally, have a safe trip back home to North Carolina.
Yes, sir.